Will Papua New Guinea be next?
Solomon Islands, next country over from you. China could have a military base just a few hundred kilometres from your country. Does that concern you?
I have no information on this.
But is this a Prime Minister's clever bluff?
Really? It's the biggest story in the region. And you're saying you don't know about it?
I have no knowledge of that proposal.
Or does he really not know the news?
With all due respect, some might suggest you're burying your head in the sand.
China has already invested more than $30 million in the project, and it's itching to get more involved. As it looks to establish a military foothold close to Australia, it's little wonder the project has raised alarm bells.
I guess where this gets tricky is because your development contains a military base, a naval base.
Yes.
That's a precarious position to be in if you're looking at whether you go with China or Australia.
We are already getting support from China in the military, and they have opened the door already. You know, if they increase the amount of support they're giving in that space, in the military space, then they might pick up those two bases. So, yeah, that's why Australia's dropped off. China is inching way around, and I don't know what's going to happen.
What's your message to Australia?
If Australia wants to have some say in this, then today is the time for us to talk.
A lot of Australians are quite worried about the growing Chinese presence in your country. Do you understand their concerns?
I could appreciate their concern, but we know which boundaries to protect and which boundaries not to cross.
It's election time in Papua New Guinea, and Prime Minister James Marape has invited us to join him on a trip back to his hometown of Tari in the heart of the Highlands. In PNG, electioneering can be an unpredictable business. But today, the crowd is in good spirits. Like so much of Papua New Guinea, Tari is dirt poor. Here, geopolitical manoeuvring is just about the last thing on anyone's minds.
Have you seen the plans for Kokori-Ihu?
I've cited, EU Special Economic Zone proposal.
Do you understand the concern in Australia when they see China funding a development like this, and the idea is to build a naval base and to build a military base?
It may be a plan and concept, but at the national level, we have not sanctioned a naval base and defence, as you are alluding to.
So can you give a guarantee there will be no military base at Kokori-Ihu?
If there's a military base to be built in Kikori area, it will be a PNG Defence Force military base. It will not be a foreign military base.
Would you allow China to build a military or naval base on your behalf?
On our behalf, on our funding, maybe yes, but Chinese military base, no.
But if it's Chinese technology and Chinese builders setting up a military base there, I mean...
No, that's...
it can get into a pretty grey zone.
That's a no-go zone for us.
What's really set Australian nerves on edge, of course, is the recent revelation of a secret security deal drawn up by neighbouring Solomon Islands and China, perhaps paving the way for a military base to be built closer to Brisbane than Brisbane is to Perth. But if the Prime Minister's worried about it, he's not letting on.
You know, Solomon Islands, next country over from you. There is now potential that China could have a military base just a few hundred kilometres from your country. Does that concern you?
I have no knowledge of that proposal.
Well, I mean, they've signed an agreement saying that they could have military presence in the Solomon Islands.
I have no information on this. I have no information, to be honest.
Really?
Seriously.
It's the biggest story in the region. And you're saying you don't know about it. I mean, are you just trying to be diplomatic there?
No, to be honest, I have not seen it. I have not seen it.
With all due respect, some might suggest you're burying your head in the sand.
Not necessarily. I try my very best not to get into other nations' sovereign issues.
To the experts, the Solomon Islands deal is bad enough. But given its proximity to Australia, a Chinese military presence in PNG would be on another level of strategic threat entirely.
If the Pacific were a monopoly board, it does feel a little bit like China sees PNG as Mayfair.
It's a nice way of putting it. That's probably right. Yes, I think if you look in the Pacific, I would actually be wanting to have the Papua New Guinea as my Mayfair and Solomon Islands as my Park Lane, right? And I put all my hotels on those two parts of the board for sure.
So they've already got Park Lane and they want the set.
Yeah, they're quite well positioned at the moment. If this is a game of Monopoly, you'd say they've got a head start on the rest of the field.
Veteran defence analyst Alan Dupont says China's intentions are very clear.